Hi everyone, I wanted to pop in today to talk about intuition. And I want to talk about how important it is to trust your intuition. So many of you don't realize that you're actually getting intuitive hits all the time. So the trick is not about how to become more intuitive, but it's about how to identify your intuition. So before we dive in, I just wanted to say, in case it looks like I'm not looking at the camera, I apologize because I've actually got two phones in front of me and I can only focus on one at a time because we're actually broadcasting this live on Instagram and Facebook at the same time, and it's going to be up on YouTube very, very soon. So I wanted to share with you a couple of intuitive hits that have happened, not just to me, but close to me. So a couple of days ago, something really a little bit jarring and shocking happened that in my neighborhood, on my street, just a couple of doors down from me, a truck ran into a house, into one of my neighbor's houses. And the truck, somehow the brakes had failed and it was rolling down the hill, because I live in a bit of a hilly area. It was rolling down a hill just across the street from the truck and just kept going and went straight through over their yard and their deck. It went straight through the deck into the kitchen and smashed through. There are these big glass doors that separate the kitchen from the deck and the rest and the yard and the street. So it actually smashed through the glass doors. So we didn't see this happen, but because the house is so close, we saw all the fire trucks and the paramedics and the ambulances and everything go past our house and all the commotion. And then we were wondering what was going on. And then as we came out of our house, we noticed there was all this yellow tape, like crime scene tape is the only words I can think of to describe it. And this crime scene tape was literally right outside our driveway, and they closed off our entire street starting from outside our driveway. But the sidewalks were open, so we went along the sidewalk, and there were people gathering. People were coming out of their houses from all around to see what was going on. And when we saw that there was like a truck practically in somebody's kitchen, it was quite a weird sight to see. And the first thing that we were kind of asking people is, was anyone hurt? Are the people okay? And luckily we found out nobody was hurt. The truck driver and his wife were fine. It wasn't a huge moving truck or anything. It was like a small, personally owned truck owned by a couple. And they were fine, so we were really relieved, but they were totally shaken. And the poor lady, the wife of the person who was driving the truck, she was feeling really nervous and scared, and she was so shaken, and people were taking her photos and probably posting it on social media, and she was feeling very, very upset and just feeling so bad this had happened. And she was saying, please don't post them on social media. And I was feeling awful for her because I know what social media can be like. And I actually just reached out and gave her a hug, and she was grateful. And so I even told her, if you want to hide at my house, you can. But what I wanted to tell you, though, where this relates to intuition, is that the next thing we saw was that, there were people who were talking to this other lady who it turned out that it was her house and it was her kitchen. And so when I started talking to her, she said that she was going to be cleaning those glass doors. She said, I wasn't home when it happened. I took myself out for a walk. And she said, I was actually planning to be cleaning those glass doors at that time. And I would have been cleaning those doors at the time the truck came in. But before I started cleaning, something told me to just take myself for a walk because it's such a beautiful day outside. And I can always clean the glass doors later when I come back. And so she'd gone out for a walk, and that's when it happened. So I was like, wow, it's a damn good thing you listened to your intuition. So what I'm trying to say is, our intuition is actually communicating with us all the time. So when people say, how can I develop my intuition? How can I develop my intuition? The question really is not how can I develop my intuition? That's actually the wrong question. The question should be, how can I identify which of my thoughts are my intuition? How can I separate that from my brain, from my mind? And usually your intuition comes to you when you're not thinking about that thing. And I'm going to give you another example of something that happened to me literally just about maybe 10 days ago. 10 or 12 days ago, actually it started maybe 2 weeks ago, I lost one of my favorite scarves. And it's a pretty colorful scarf, as many of my scarves are. And it has some silk woven into it, and I just love it because it's thick and fluffy. And so I was looking everywhere for it. I was racking my brains like, when was the last time I used it? And I thought, did I leave it in the car? I went and looked to the back seat of the car, which is where I would put my stuff. It wasn't in the back seat. I even looked in the trunk, which is not where I would have put a scarf. It wasn't there in the trunk. I looked and I thought that, okay, the last time I saw it, I think it was hanging on the back of the dining chair, because I remember coming home and then just draping my jacket and the scarf on the back of the dining chair. So the jacket I had worn it with wasn't on the back of the dining chair. I went and ran and looked in the closet for that jacket, and the jacket was there and the scarf wasn't with it. And so I just could not figure out where that scarf was. Now, I have a closet which, it isn't tidy, my closet. I walk into my closet, it's not super tidy, but everything is in sections. I separate everything. So all my scarves are in one section, all my blouses are in another section, skirts are in another section, and so on. So the things are separated by what it is. And so I went into my scarf section. I'd looked in the scarf section several times. Of course, that was the first section I looked when I was looking for it, and I couldn't see it. But what I did was I pulled out every single scarf because, and I have a lot of scarves, pulled out every single one, wasn't there. So tidied it up, put it all back, and then I just had to let go of it. Danny kept saying, you probably gave it away to someone. And I said, no, if I did, I would remember who I gave it to, because it's a special scarf. I love it. And I would, it would have to be something really special for me to give it away. So I just decided I'm going to let it go, completely let it go, and decide, okay, whoever is meant to have it has it. I must have dropped it somewhere, lost it somewhere outside. So I completely let it go. 2 days after I had let it go, I was half asleep in the morning. It was like a Friday morning, and I was half asleep, half awake, in that time of the morning. And this picture came into my head. I didn't ask for it, didn't call for it. Picture comes into my head of my scarf hanging on a hanger with a specific skirt, an Indian skirt that's colorful and has lots of pleats, and the scarf is blended in with that skirt. The folds of the skirt are kind of hiding the scarf. It was a very clear image. So that's when I kind of woke up and thought, oh, I wonder if that's true. And then my mind started to kick in and say, that can't be true. Why would I hang the scarf with the skirt? I've never done that. The last time I wore the scarf wasn't even with that skirt. So how can it be folded in with that skirt's pleats? But anyway, I've got to entertain this image that came in that I wasn't even thinking along those lines, and it came in. So I went to my closet, went to the skirt section, looked for that specific skirt, pulled it out, and there was the scarf hanging with that skirt, folded in, kind of like disappeared into the pleats of the skirt. So I thought, wow, that's interesting, because I really didn't wear that scarf with that skirt. But the part that fascinates me is the part that the image came in when I wasn't thinking about that thing. And this is why sometimes our most intuitive hits happen when we're in the shower. Our most intuitive hits happen when we're least expecting it, when we're not thinking about things and our mind is just completely free and clear and just relaxed. So a couple of things that you can do to help along with intuition is to spend time doing mindless things. Like it can come to you when you're chopping vegetables, or when you're out for a walk in nature, and just let your mind drift. But then when you get a distinct picture of something, it's followed by a feeling of some kind, like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. There's a little bit of that kind of upliftment feeling that I've noticed happens when I get an intuitive hit. And that's the thing to look for, that, oh yeah, that is a good idea. And I'm sure that's what that lady felt, whose house it was, that, oh, it's a good idea to go for a walk first. Your intuition, I've noticed, for me, my intuition always uplifts me. There's that little bit of upliftment. So watch out for those feelings and know that you are getting such hits all the time. So what I would love to hear from you in the comments, and I will go back and read them wherever you're posting them, I would love to hear from you intuitive hits that you've had. I love it when people share their intuitive hits. I've heard so many people share their hits, especially around really major events of people not getting on a flight, on a plane that actually ends up going down, or things like that, major things like that. I hear of people sharing stories like that when they just get this intuitive hit that I need, for some reason, I need to not do this thing today, or not go to this place today. So I would love to hear them from you. And one of the other reasons I love it when people share things like that, I love it because when we read each other's experiences of something like this, it reinforces in us that it does happen all the time, and it happens really often. And it also gives us tips on how to look for it in ourselves, and how to follow our own intuition. But the more reinforcement you have from other people that this is happening all the time, the more you believe it. And the more you believe it, the more you're allowing it into your space, your energy space. The more you're allowing it into your life. So that's why it's really important for us to share all these kinds of things. A lot of people kind of go, oh no, it's woo-woo, people are going to think I'm crazy. That ship has sailed already, especially as far as I'm concerned. I'm over that, because a lot of people who think they're sane and sensible, their lives aren't exactly working out the way they want it to. So that's the question to ask. I often say I'm fine with being delusional. What's important to me is that my life is working out for me. So feel free to share. Don't be embarrassed. And it helps other people when you share your intuitive hits, and also incredible synchronicities that happen to you, things like that. I always love hearing it. Couple of things I wanted to mention is, in response to comments that I get on social media, a lot of people ask me about this pendant I'm wearing. And actually I have 3 pendants of different shapes and sizes that are similar. And they've asked me what it is and what the stone is. It's angel aura quartz. And I'm going to tell you the properties of it. And I bought this from Sedona, but before I tell you the properties of it, people have said, does it have healing properties? It's got a lot of properties that are really amazing, and I'm going to read them out. But before I tell you the properties, I just wanted to show you the other 2 shapes. Oh, and I'm wearing angel aura quartz earrings as well. And I have one that's like really big, which I wear when I'm on stage. And all of them were bought from Sedona. I have searched for them everywhere. So the one I'm wearing here is like a pear-shaped or a teardrop. And I have one that's oval. And the other one I showed you was sort of rectangle. A tip I want to give you if you choose to buy one is that when you choose one, I want you to make sure that you find ones with a gap between the setting and the quartz itself. And I hope you can see this. I'm going to show it on the other. If you can tell, there's a gap between the stone and the setting. It's on prongs. Basically, it's on prongs. Now, the reason why that's important is because when it rests on your skin, light can still get in, so that the facets can still they can still emit light of different colors. They can emit light of the whole spectrum. And that's why these shine so much. You can find angel aura quartz that don't have the prongs and just have a frame. Those are not as bright. So I just wanted to give you that tip because to me that's pretty important. So what I want to do is also share with you the properties of angel aura quartz so that you know well, the importance of wearing them for me. And also what we're going to do is we're going to tag the store. Can you remind me the name of the store, Abby?
I believe it was Mystic Gems in Sedona.
Mystic Gems in Sedona. And we're going to tag them on this video so that you can find them. So I have looked everywhere. I've only found them in Sedona, but in 2 different places. One of where I got the biggest one from was the concession stand outside at the event where I was speaking in Sedona. So if I can find the name of the lady who was selling them at the concession stand, I will tag her as well as the store where I bought them. I have looked for them online. I've looked for them here in LA. I haven't found them again. And if anyone finds them, please, please, please let me know where you find them. And I love these stones. So the affirmation for the angel aura quartz is, I am connected deeply to my angels by being embodied as my highest self while radiating peace, joy, beauty, and light. So the qualities or the properties of rainbow angel aura quartz is a peaceful and tranquil crystal that assists in communications with angels, spirit guides, and teachers, and is used to cleanse the aura and promote higher levels of meditation. It's a powerful messenger of peace, love, and connection to the divine. Just as an angel does, the purpose of this powerful quartz crystal is to uplift energy and instill a sense of immaculate happiness and goodness for every person it encounters. So you see, when I'm out there at events speaking, or when I'm out there just doing my thing, trying to lift the planet and bring joy to everybody, this stone helps me do that. It kind of does half the work for me. So that's why I love it so much. I do wear it a lot, and I actually get stopped outside on the street and in stores. When I'm shopping in a store or a mall, people will stop me and say, oh my God, I love that stone. What is it? Where'd you get it from? So that's how eye-catching it is. So thank you for tuning in. Just before I sign off, any comments or anything?
A lot of comments, a lot of people sharing their stories about their intuition tapping in. A couple people were like, I was just journaling about intuition and then you came on live talking about it. Someone else was just reading your book and they were like, I logged into Instagram and here you are. But a lot of people sharing their stories.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that. We're going to go back and read them. One last comment that several people have commented that I wear an Apple Watch or smartwatch and that it radiates, it emits EMF radiation. And so I really appreciate your concern. Thank you for telling me that. A couple of things I want to say. I turn off the Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. I put it on airplane mode when I wear it. It still gives me the functions I need, which is my movement and my steps. I want to make sure I attain a certain number of steps a day. It tells me the different time zones of different countries I need to be in communication with, and it gives me the local time. Those are the things that the 3 things that I rely on my watch for. I don't use it for phone calls, emails, so I turn off, so I put it on airplane mode. So, but I appreciate your concern, and I never wear it at night. So thank you for that. And if you wear a smartwatch, I would suggest you do the same as well.
And the store is Mystical Bazaar, not Mystic Gems. I was close though.
Okay, so the store where we bought, where I've seen, they have a huge selection of them, was Mystical Bazaar in Sedona. They had the huge selection of the gems, and I actually, and my team who were there supporting me at the event, I actually got all the women in the team to wear one so that we could together be uplifting everybody. So thank you so much for tuning in. Love you all. Can't wait to see you again really soon. Bye.